friends, and welcome to episode 2 of GHK Radio Season 2. And hello, it's almost Halloween.
Hello,
How could you tell? How could you tell?
Even though someone looked a little different last time, they're looking a little different again this time. I'm not gonna say names.
It's Kai. It's Kai.
Yes,
It's Kai.
Yeah.
I am in my Halloween costume. I'm dressed up as a famous Twitch streamer, Nemurenai Kai. You know.
You're so cool. That's I could tell away.
I know.
You're so cool.
I like your little Kai cosplay too. I saw the mask back then.
Back then. Way back then, back in the day.
Yep.
She just took it off. Open your eyes, Harune, please.
My brand.
My brand.
I
My
love
brand.
that commercial. That was like the first commercial in like years. When I
Look
saw it, I was
with
like,
your
now this is
special
clever.
eyes.
Look with
Oh.
your special eyes.
I
That's a
do
good
like
one.
I do like the commercials that like when they poke a little bit of fun at themselves. Like some of them they go a little bit too hard. Like I think Reese's peanut butter cups, they had some really interesting ones that were just like, oh, you're getting a little spicy now, but now it's just like, okay, I get it, you're edgy. Just like take a step back.
Silence, brand.
Silence, Brad.
It's fine. It's fine. It's you know what? I feel like that's the tone of a lot of commercials nowadays. Like
Yeah.
everyone's always like in on the joke. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, I might be doing this thing that's like mocking worthy, but like you can't really mock me because I'm mocking myself. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry
Yeah.
about it. I'm doing this ironically. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's
Yeah.
just like like the general humor going around because of like social media and all that. Too.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to understand what people like to see. So they
Yeah, right?
try to go in on that, but at the same time it's, it's what's being made fun of.
You can't win.
Hello,
can
hello,
you?
fellow kids.
Hello.
Hello, children.
Oh.
Yup. Oh my gosh, there were a couple of examples of the Silence brand things with Squid Game, on stuff on the Twitter sphere, and I was just like, some of them I was like, I can see where you're going with this. No, but some just no.
Speaking of, like, Squid Game suddenly shot up as like the most popular Halloween outfit now, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Like,
well that's great.
immediately.
It's super easy for a Halloween outfit. Like
Right? Just get
it's
like
even easier than Among Us.
the pink hoodie and all that, a little mask, and you're done.
Yep. Or if you want to be
Or-
one
or
of
a
the
tracksuit,
participants, like the tracksuit. Like some people already have tracksuits. Kai. So like,
Laughing at your own joke there. Very nice, very nice. Good job.
no, I'm laughing at the fact that you didn't deny it.
He just like sat in silence. Just went.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
"All
was
right."
that a poke at me? I thought that was a very normal thing to own.
Do you have the tracksuit?
He
Well,
has
not
a tracksuit.
Not that color in particular, but I do own tracksuits.
He has tracksuits.
They're comfy.
I think I've never owned a tracksuit because usually
Track-
like the pants for the tracksuits usually have like the mesh inside of them,
Yeah, and that's not.
and I've always
comfortable.
hated them. I've always hated them.
I've
Like,
always hated them.
I've always hated track pants. Like, because when you walk, it's like you get sandpaper sound.
I
And then
hate
it's not
the. I
comfortable.
hate the swish. I
Yeah.
hate the swish. It's such. It's such a sound, and it's such a standard look.
Yeah.
If track pants make sandpaper sound against your knees, may I suggest a nice brand of a body lotion? Your knees might be a little dry.
No, the sound of the fabric.
Yeah,
that the
as
track pants are made
as you walk, and it like swishes against
Yeah.
each other. Not
Like, if
against
you're-
your knees. Are you kidding
like,
me?
Like if you're wearing corduroy pants, you get the very pleasant whip, 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 whip whenever you walk. But if you're wearing
Yes.
like the track pants, you get the sandpaper. It's like, hello, I have static coming off of my legs now with the sound here. Change the channel on the TV. You can't because it's track pants.
I can hear you coming from a mile away.
Exactly.
That's, how am I supposed to sneak up on my enemies? This is Sekai. This is why your stealth
At your
skill.
volume, I don't think it's much of an issue. There's no sneaking with you.
I can be quiet when I want to.
Mm-hmm. Like a bullet?
Listen, you just put a silencer on that thing,
Exactly.
and no one will know.
That's
Exactly.
actually not how silencers work, but okay.
I know they don't silence the bullet itself, but the bullet...
No, they're actually they're not as quiet as you think they are. Like even with a silencer.
Yeah.
It
But
just goes
it's
from like break your
quieter.
ear. Well, it goes from break your eardrums loud to just like really kind of loud.
It's still quieter. I don't
It was the sound was at 11. We've put it to 10 for you.
Mm-mm. So the next time I hear someone shouting at me from behind, just ever so softly, I'll know it's Girl DM.
DM, it's okay.
She's got that threatening look in her eyes. I don't like it. I don't like it. Can we move on to the topics? She's scaring me.
Well, happy Halloween, friends. This is going to be more or less
Halloween.
our Halloween special because this is being recorded a week before Halloween itself.
For a live
yes.
studio audience. Cue applause.
My hands will not potty today. I am in such a state that like my hands do not know how to function. So this is going to be an interesting
I
day.
have my camera like connected and I still can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not even
It's
wearing
so
hands
hard.
today.
Your hands are struggling, Kai, just like to
A little bit.
function. But that's okay.
It's been a morning, all right. It's been a morning.
It has been a bit of a morning.
Listen, I tore down a tree yesterday. My
What?
hands are tired. Yeah, what is it? There's like, like next to the house where the power box is connected.
Yeah.
All the power lines go into the house through there. That's how I get electricity to stream. That's how I'm here right now. We have a tree on the side that like somehow the branches grew between the power box and the house.
Oh.
So if the branches grew
Oh,
any
boy.
thicker, it would literally rip the power box out of my house.
Oh, so you had like an electric bomb.
Yes. Except
Yes.
no.
Oh.
So yeah.
She seems disappointed. You should have told her what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
It could be an electricity bomb. Just on a really slow delay.
So
It's a
yesterday,
time.
It's a
yesterday
time
afternoon,
bomb.
Yeah.
It's a time bomb. So yeah, yesterday afternoon at about 1, I rolled out of bed, really bleary-eyed, and my dad was just holding a hammer and a crowbar and was like, "Come help me rip out the tree." I'm like, "What? What?"
I just
What?
imagine, Nemurenai Kai blearily waking up out of bed and his father's just standing at the foot of his bed. It's still dark in his room, holding the hammer and the crowbar, being like, "Son."
Oh no, it was 1 in the afternoon. The sun was out. It was a nice day, and I was a degenerate, just being awake at 1.
It kind of killed my imagery. I had some like really cool like cinematic vision of how it
but-
happened, and now it's just like
I mean,
afternoon drama levels of
here, let me
cinema.
give you better imagery then.
Okay.
What essentially happened was my dad had to wedge the crowbar between the wall and the tree, hammer in place, conventional tree cutting tools.
Mhm.
And then he tied a rope around the thickest branch and then tied the other end of the rope around my waist and just told me to run.
And just said, "Run."
Okay, I thought you were actually like helping your father, but by like hitting stuff or using the
Boy,
tools.
run.
No,
But
I
you're
just-
Boy, like that
literally-
is such a
Kai,
God of War
I've-
move. Like,
I
boy.
think you've been demoted to like workhorse instead of son.
Pack animal. I ran and ripped the tree off the wall.
Good job. Good job.
It really hurt my waist tying the knot around my waist.
I bet like normally if you're gonna do something like so even pack animals they usually have you should have had them tie it to your horns.
Yeah, duh.
Not the waist where there's like
We didn't have
flesh.
enough rope for that.
Oh.
rope for that.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely trying to use your waist to pull stuff unless you have like some kind of thing to disperse the pressure.
Well,
It
I mean,
hurts.
I still held onto the rope. It was just like I tied the rope around myself to like anchor it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then like even then like it sucked.
yeah, even then it sucks. Like, cause I have one of the cosplays that I have is Shippo from Inuyasha, and I have like
Ooh.
the tail as a big fluffy pillow essentially, and it's
Mhm.
attached with a belt to my waist, and I have to periodically throughout the day take it off because even
people tugged
just,
on the tail.
Well, people tug on the tail, and it's just really heavy to have something at your waist, and if I were to like make the belt really wide, it would probably be more comfortable for a longer period of time. But if you just have like something around your waist that's pulling on you, it's just like, okay, I need to stop for a bit.
Oh, it's like when you like hold shopping bags, right? And then like the bag like really digs into your hand because it like concentrates into like pure plastic bag around like that one knuckle joint. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, and it's like maybe it's not like it's not the heaviest bag, but just that overall pressure as it continues, right?
I cannot speak to this experience because I have never had to carry something around my waist for hours. Or even something heavy.
I thought you were going to say you've never gone shopping. You've never bought groceries. Harune doesn't get her own groceries.
Harune has never gone shopping before.
All the food just appears in front of me. I consume it, and then it sits in Lewis. And he
weird,
is a
because all my
happy
food
lad.
just keeps disappearing. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, weird, isn't it? Couldn't tell ya.
But anyway, should we get started on the first topic?
Sure, Kai, you go first. Oh, wait, no, Kai went first last week. I'm sorry. DM, go ahead.
Hello, welcome to GHK Radio. In today's essay, I will be explaining why Kai should go first every week. First of all...
okay, I mean...
I can go
I
first.
don't mind.
I can go first.
I had a topic. Although, let me know if I've done this topic before, because I was like thinking through topics.
I had the same issue. I'm sitting here thinking like, have I done this topic before?
Have I done this one before?
You guys.
What's your favorite smell?
Oh, I don't think we did this one.
Okay, good. Yay.
I feel like I've talked about it off stream, but I don't think we've done it for GHK. No.
I don't think we have for GHK.
Well, then I guess I just don't care about your answer, Kai.
I'm just gonna leave now? Alright, I see how it is.
You're like, oh, I talked about it before off camera. That's not the point! We talk about it on camera now.
Guy's like, well, you see, I've already talked about this, so I shall abstain from answering. I'm just gonna say
basically,
for a bit
it's like, oh, well, we've
podcast.
already discussed this, so I guess it's not worth talking about anymore for the podcast. Oh my god.
Why do I keep coming back every week?
I think my favorite smell is chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, like fresh baked ones?
Yes.
Why?
Why?
Well,
childhood memories?
Kinda, yeah. Like, because I grew up with a Mama Rune who does not bake desserts, because that's not a thing in Taiwan. Like, most households do not have an oven. Number one, because it's just way too hot and humid. Owning an oven would just, like, suffocate yourself. And then secondly, because bakeries are a little bit more accessible. But it's not just, like, cookies and stuff. Like, it's usually, like, breads and, like, buns and stuff like that. Like, egg tarts, all those good stuff.
Pineapple buns.
Yeah, exactly. So there's never really been a need to know how to bake things. That's just not part of Taiwanese cuisine, or at least home cooking. So when the first time I had homemade cookies was at Grandma Renee's house, so Papa Renee's mom. And so she would bake chocolate chip cookies. And so, you know, whenever we went to go visit her, and she didn't bake all the time, so it was like once in a blue moon. But I just remember so distinctly, like, the first time I smelled fresh baked chocolate chip cookies, and then all the times after that I would smell it, and it just puts a little smile on my face. So, you know, I like it a lot. And now I bake chocolate chip cookies for my parents and for family and friendos. And I'm the only person in my family who bakes. So when Papa Rene wants cookies, he doesn't go to the store. He calls me and says, Harune, I want cookies. And I'm like,
cookies, child.
Okay, pretty much, yeah. He goes, where's my cookie? Like, he won't even ask. He just goes, where's my cookies? And I was like, all right, I'll get on that. I'm sorry. And I bake him cookies. So
likewise, I'm the only one in the family that also does baking. My parents do more of, like, traditional Chinese cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
And they'll make, like, traditional Chinese desserts, like a red bean soup, or, like, you know, silken tofu and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what Mama Rene makes.
The only thing I've seen my dad ever try to bake was egg tarts. But like, if you're talking like bread, if you're talking cookies, if you're talking like any of the more Western sweets, yeah, I'm the only one that does that in my house too.
See, my family, mom's side is German,
Mm.
so it's a lot of baking.
Yeah, I imagine.
It's a lot of baking. Like, I think I remember being like in kindergarten helping mom bake.
Now that I remember you telling us. That's something I think
Yeah.
we discussed in a
Yeah, with
previous
baking and
episode in
stuff,
season
cooking.
1. But
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I was just about to say,
My
Dia,
family,
now
lots of baking.
yeah, and that's like a yearly, like the big baking.
The
sessions
Christmas
are a
cookies,
yearly,
we do
yes.
that, yeah. And then
Yes.
anytime that there is a like family holiday, like we just had Thanksgiving recently,
Mm.
Mom DM makes a pie from scratch, and she also does like fruit canning every year. So we have a whole bunch of apples, and she cans apple pie filling, and she makes a ton of apple pie filling. So all she has to do is make the pastry for the crust. She doesn't
I
buy the
love
pastry
that.
for the crust. She does never ever. She's like, no, this is garbage. We're not going to use this. We're not going to put this on our mouths. So she makes it from scratch. And then whenever we have the pie, we have to comment on how light and fluffy and flaky and delicious the crust is. We'd be like, I
We
make such
have to
good pie
comment.
crust. We have to. Every time we take a bite, she's like, I make amazing pie crust. And you're like, you do make amazing pie crust, Mom. Yum, it's so flaky and delicious. She's like, isn't it flaky and delicious? I love my pie crust.
I see pie crust as Mom DM's favorite child.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Her
yeah.
pride and joy.
It's her
As I
pride and
recall
joy.
too, didn't you tweet about like finding like your grandma or great grandma's old recipe book or something, and it was all like smudged and stuff like the sacred texts. Trying
Oh,
to
that's
decipher
Mom
Secret
DMs.
text?
That's Mom
Oh.
DMs. It's
Oh,
just
was it?
been that's Mom DM. So we have Mom DM has a cookbook that is blank, so that you can write in recipes from people and from family, and then it has an index in the back, so you can also write alphabetically the names of the dishes that you've written in the book and then the page number it's on, which makes it really easy because you can't really
Ooh.
alphabetize it because
Right, because you
you're
don't know
adding
when
to it
you'll
as
be.
you go.
Yeah,
that sounds
that's
so nice
awesome.
though.
Yeah, and so that specific page is for stuffing balls, which is the family recipe that we make a ton. I remember, oh gosh, I don't know how
I
long
saw
we've
the
had that.
pictures.
That's been-
They looked
that's-
so good.
They're delicious, and it's my responsibility to make them usually
Ooh.
every year because I make them well. I make them so that they're not dry. They're nice and crispy on the outside, and then they're nice and moist on the inside, and warm and well cooked, and everything's blended perfectly. My cousin followed the exact same recipe and somehow managed to turn them into doorstops. So I don't
Isn't
know.
it incredible
So-
how that happens?
I have no idea what he did. I think he blitzed the. You have to crush pretzels. There's a lot of crushing of things involved in it, which makes it a little difficult. And you have to crush pretzels, and if you use a food processor, it turns them into dust. And if it makes it into dust, that absorbs all of the moisture, and then it dries it out. So you have to have like this halfway
Like the
between
rough crushed.
Yeah, rough crushed pretzels, which means you have to manually do it with either
Like
what I
rolling
did.
pin and bag.
Yeah, rolling pin and bag, but I don't like doing the bag method because then we wash Ziploc bags in my house.
Mm.
We don't
so
throw
if
them
they're
away,
like
we wash
punctured
them.
and stuff, then you
Yeah,
can't
so
really
it's-
reuse them.
Yeah, or I'm still instructed to wash it, and then while you're washing it, you're like, it's got holes in it.
Oof.
So this year, what I did is I used a potato masher and a Pyrex measuring thingamajiggy cup.
Like-
That was a glass one.
So you
And
just
then
very
I just-
gently, just like pestle and mortared it inside.
Yeah, I
the...
kind of pestled and mortared it so I could keep an eye on if it was getting too powdery at the bottom and such. And Mom Dan was like, "Are you
Right.
sure you don't want to use the food processor?" I was like, "No, the food processor sucks.
That's right.
No. We do it by hand. We do
That's
it by
right.
hand.
we do
here.
it by hand." And she was like, "Okay."
That
Thankfully,
sounds
I
so
was,
nice, though.
Yeah, I was doing a double recipe, which is what we do just for the DM family because you want leftovers 100%.
Right.
But then when we actually have like large family gatherings, I've done quadruple, and I've done an eight times the size recipe before.
Oh
of it.
God.
And
Jesus.
when that happens, usually I'm just like, you know what? For the pretzels, we're gonna have like half of it being dust because I cannot.
No, yeah, that's at that point food processor's fine. But
Yeah.
I have noticed that like that seems to be the big difference between someone who is experienced at making a dish and someone who's just following the recipe is that there is no intuition with it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're like, oh, like roughly chop the pretzels, they'll be like food processor, bam, it turns to dust, and they don't recognize because they're still so uncomfortable, right? That you know it's not the right texture. And
or
so
they're like, this should be fine. It's still going in the same spot, and it's like it does change the makeup of the texture and the flavors.
Right.
I actually did read about this before. There's like food studies that I like not really participate in, but like just read up on. People like irregularity in their food.
Yes.
Like, so if it's all broken down super uniformly and every bite has the same taste and same texture, they get bored of it really quick. Whereas if you imagine a bowl of cereal, like one spoonful you might have crispier cereal, the next spoonful you might have like the dried fruits and nuts in it and stuff like that. Every bite is a little bit different. That's what keeps you like invested in the bowl kind of thing. So like having those kind of irregular I can't talk, oh my god. Irregularities makes for a better eating experience.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you have to fight for people's attention with food. Like bite per bite, you're fighting for people's attention. That's almost sad. I mean, I get it from like a variety standpoint, but like, I don't know. Nowadays when it's like scrolling through social media and like all of the times where like certain, you know, notifications pop up a certain number of seconds after you open the program, like it's not immediate because they want that building rising tension and like, you know, how often things refresh. And it just like putting that into the context of food makes it sound really depressing, but like I get that that's obviously not the same thing. I just find it funny.
Yeah.
But the example they raised actually is something you could try at home. It's a dish we're all familiar with, tamago kake gohan, which is just egg, soy sauce, and rice. They were like, okay, so try doing it 2 times. One time, you put the egg in the soy sauce, and then you just mix it a couple times. Make it so that it's like, oh, some parts are eggier, some parts are more soy sauce. Like, don't mix it very thoroughly. And then the second bowl, mix it very thoroughly, so that every grain of rice is coated evenly, kind of like that. And try the 2 bowls. They're like, you'll probably like the first bowl better. Because each mouthful's a little bit different.
You know what? I feel like that, I mean, you can apply that pretty much to anything. Like if I think about, so I recently, like over the summer, so not super recent, did like a painting and drinking sort of activity. And when we did the background, right, it was like, oh, you know, dip your paintbrush in blue with like a hint of green and a little bit of white. And I remember the lady saying like, it doesn't have to be well mixed. You don't want to well blend it. You're not trying to create a new color. You're just trying to have hints of these colors throughout the board. And I could like look from my left and to my right and see the other participants. And you could see some were far more blended than others, but it wasn't blended as in like, oh, look at this beautiful like array of different colors on the canvas. It was like, oh, you have now created teal. You know what I mean? Like, so I get that you want that sort of irregular diversity in there. It's just visually more pleasing. But I guess it's pleasing in every way, in food and in art and I guess in content. So yeah, makes sense. Yeah. But you know what, DM? You didn't even explain your favorite smell.
I didn't yet. My favorite smell. My favorite smell. Kai hasn't even said yet either. But my favorite smell is a candle scent that I tend to search out because I have a hard time finding it at times because it is tobacco and vanilla.
What?
Yep.
Oh.
Tobacco and vanilla. Virginian tobacco and vanilla, and sometimes they add like wood smoke as well.
Oh my god! What an old man!
Right? There's something. It has a warm smell to it. Like, and the thing is like, I don't like the smell of cigarettes.
Right.
I don't like the smell of like smoking and such. But just something about the tobacco candle smell, I'm just like, you know what, it smells like you're in a really old house and it's wintertime and you're just like cozy reading an old book. That's what it feels like.
You know, it's really funny that you say that specifically in reference to a candle smell, because when I was thinking about how to answer your question, I thought about what my favorite candle smell was, and then I gave my answer. So my favorite candle smell is actually from Yankee Candle, and it's a very specific scent that's only like a limited time item during Christmas season. It's called Christmas Cookie.
Oh, it's cookies still.
Yeah, it's still cookies, but because every time I smell that reminds me of Grandma Renee. So so that's why I said chocolate chip cookies, because that's like directly related to the actual memory itself. But like the candle itself, because of that memory, you know, I recall the candle. And then I'm like, yes, the memory. So, Kai, what's your favorite candle smell that leads to your favorite smell? Because clearly that's the logic here.
That's the logic.
We don't use a lot of candles in my house, so
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
really think about smells in context to candles. But, because somebody actually asked me that a long time ago, what's your favorite smell? And I realized I didn't have an answer for them. So I actually went on a quest to find my favorite smell. I actually went and did this.
The magic smell.
And therein lies my mistake.
Okay.
Because I went to a body shop and I just kind of like sniffed around.
Oh no.
Oh,
That's
And
body shop is.
there was a
That's gutsy.
very pleasant smelling soap that was
Okay.
lavender flavored.
Ooh, okay.
Lavender flavored.
He licked
So I
Kai
thought
ate the soap. Okay.
it.
I thought to myself, wow, I think I like lavender. So I went, I bought the soap, I bought the shampoo, I went home, I did lavender, and about 3 weeks in, I got so sick of lavender.
Yeah.
I got super duper sick of lavender. And then, like, coincidentally, I walked down into the kitchen, and my dad was making pina coladas.
Ooh.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And he asked me, he held a lemon, was like, do you remember if lemons are in pina coladas? And I'm just like,
No.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No.
I don't drink either. But then he cut the lemon and held like half a lemon in front of me, and I smelled it. And it was so refreshing compared to lavender that it like instantly, it was like love at first smell. To this day,
Kai's hair is yellow because of lemons.
I still really enjoy citrus scents. I can't talk. I'm like,
Citrus scents.
citrus scents. Citrus scents.
But the thing is, like, I see where the error happened, because you were gonna say smells, but then it also said scents, and it became sments.
Sments.
Citrus scents.
I've been using citrus scented things for a long time, and I haven't gotten sick of it the same way I have with lavender. So I think I can safely say I really like citrus.
I would be in agreement. I think if not for Christmas cookie and like the specific memory that freshly baked chocolate chips have for me, definitely citrus is like second. If not side by side. Citrus is
in
like
my head.
da bomb.
I kind of like associate the different citruses as different smells. It's like
Yeah.
lemon. I call when I say citrus, I mean like lemon. But then if I smell an orange, I call that gentle citrus. And then if it's like a lime, it's like a sharper citrus. And then like I very much remember thinking grapefruit in particular was danger citrus.
Dangerous citrus.
Dangerous.
I mean,
citrus.
I like grapefruit. Grapefruit's delicious and it doesn't smell bad, but like that's something about the smell just like has that hint of bitterness to it that I'm just like, oh.
Oh yeah, that smell is a warning. That is
This
a
is
warning
an-
of what's to come if you are not prepared for a grapefruit.
This is an adult citrus.
It's true. It's true. Adult citrus
It's got
is a good.
the bitterness of humanity.
Oh no.
So
The
I mean,
bitterness of weight
generally,
loss.
if anyone gives me anything that's like citrus scented, orange, lime, lemon, whatever, I'd be pretty happy with it.
When I
Also,
burn
because
can.
it like really wakes me up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like-
that's the intent.
I like
think.
citrus for cleaning.
Yes.
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 See, one of the things that
when
I
Oh no, go ahead.
okay. One of the things I learned a little bit too late for the Japan life hack thing was if while you're on a trip, if you get a very get a specific uniquely scented thing that you wouldn't like generally use, your brain will associate that scent with the memories from the trip.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, like, you can do the same thing with music if there's a song that you've listened to a lot. Like, I had a very specific playlist when I was living in Japan. So even now, like, I have those songs on my regular rotation, and when I hear them, I think of Japan and, like, have very strong, like, stronger memories about, like, events and things. But you can do the same thing with scents as well, which is just kind of crazy in my mind that it's just kind of like, hey, brain, remember this a lot better. Right?
You know what, though? They say that smell is actually one of the strongest senses that recalls memory.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you think would be wild. Because, yeah, you would think, like, music or maybe even something visual. But no, it's a smell. Smell helps you recall memory the strongest.
Which is great.
Isn't that nuts?
I think it's just like synesthesia in general, though. It's like when one sense helps you think of another sense kind of thing. It's all just like a whole blend. And I think different people are just sensitive to different things. Because, like, for me, I don't really remember things based on smell. But when I see different colors, it invokes, like, a memory of a smell to me. Or if I, like, smell something, it makes me think of specific colors.
Really?
Like, if I smell anything that's cinnamon, I always have, like, a kind of reddish-brown color in my mind.
Cinnamon!
I love cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon!
I love the Pacific Ocean.
And actually, if I smell something like lemony, I actually think of yellow and blue at the same time. Because when I was a kid, I really liked those, like, you know, like slush puppies? Or like slushies, I guess?
Yes?
That you could get at, like, gas stations or whatever?
Huh.
Yeah.
Like, I always got the blue one as a kid, and it was always kind of like sweet and sour kind of thing, so I don't know why. It's not lemon flavored for sure.
It's
Blue
blue
just like-
raspberry.
Exactly, an artificial flavor. But, like, the sourness of it, when I smell something that I think smells sour, like, in my head, I always picture the color blue and yellow.
That is interesting. Blue raspberry
just
was definitely my favorite Dum Dum sucker
Yeah,
flavor.
I like the blue raspberry a lot.
For the same reason, because it's like sweet but tart.
Mm,
And I'm thinking about it, and it's making me salivate. So I have to be careful. But yeah, I can see that. If I think about, like, if I recall the yellow and blue combination, I always think, like, two things: refreshing and summer breeze.
Ho, ho.
Because if I were to burn, so I like burning candles. It doesn't matter if it's, like, because I need a new smell in my room or something like that. Like, it's not necessarily that. It's just, like, if I'm feeling it. So I'll always burn, like, baking scents. So, like, Christmas cookie.
Yeah.
And flavors like that in, like, the fall and winter. And I will always burn something floral in the spring and something citrusy in the summer. So a lot of candles that are sold with, like, that citrusy sort of refreshing scent often has, like, some sort of, like, light pale blue associated with it, because that's cooling.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like, even, like, so if you had, like, a lemon scented candle, or, like, lemon lavender, oddly enough, I'm sorry, Kai, but lemon lavender is actually a really popular scent combination in candles. And it'll be lemon with, like, this pale lavender blue, or I'm sorry, purple, or, like, lemon and linen, which often then is accompanied with, like, a pale blue.
Yeah.
So I think, so when you say, you know, yellow and blue, I still do think of lemon, but then it's also automatically associated with, like, summer breeze or something like cooling, if that makes any sense.
Oh.
If that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Brutes.
I know that, like,
Oh my god, it was just completely ignored. Holy crap. Didn't even acknowledge it for a second. You just moved right on. I've never been so destroyed in my life.
Kai just heard
I've
the
never-
lavender and stuff, and he was like, I don't need to participate in this anymore.
I've
Onwards
never
to the
been,
next one there.
I've never been so wrecked in my life.
I'm so sorry, Harune. Let me get you a band-aid.
Thank you. I'm gonna need stitches. I'm gonna need to be
You're gonna need
helicoptered out of here.
Okay, we're gonna charge Kai with the
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter. He's gonna have to pay for the insurance.
Oh my
I plead
God.
not guilty.
Oh my
I just had
God.
We
I just
literally
had
have
a
you
related
on
thought.
4K.
I had a related thought. I wanted to bring it up.
Okay,
So
what's
you
your
murdered me in the process.
Yeah, what's
I
your
was
relation?
gonna say because I remember hearing that people did that with sounds too, specifically wind chimes. Like wind chimes are supposed to incite, like a feeling of coolness and refreshingness.
It's
Which is
true.
why a lot of in Japan, like the shaved ice shops or like ice cream shops, they would have wind chimes.
Oh yeah, the little ding ding.
That little ding ding.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like they always do it in anime too. When they if you're about to go to the summer beach house or whatever, they'll always proceed it with a ding ding, like you can hear the wind chime.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's just so strongly associated with the image of something
Ding!
cool. Except when Girl the M does it.
Well, and I think it's just so that it acknowledges hey, summer equals hot, but this little ding ding, because it's activated by the wind, right? By breeze. So then you're you automatically feel cooler, right? But I totally agree with that vibe, because I make sure, at where I live, there is a set of wind chimes at the front door, and then there is a set of wind chimes at the back door. So no matter where I am in the house, I gotta be hearing
so
wind
cool.
chimes. No,
You're
I
always
just
so cool. Oh my gosh.
I just want to feel breezy. That's all I want to do. I just want to hear ching chimes so I can feel nice and cool in my abode. That's literally it. That's the only reason why. Also because I really like wind chimes. I feel ethereal somehow. I just want to be an elf, okay? I'd love to live in Rivendell.
There it is.
Can
There
I
it is. The
just-
real
could
reason
I
comes
just-
out.
We've got
Now
it.
we know.
Could I, or just live in Hobbiton, but with wind chimes, please?
Now
Please.
Please?
Oh, we already knew, Kai. We're just saying it out loud right now.
we know.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. I'm so sorry. Can you believe it's already been 40 minutes?
Smeal.
It's a good episode.
Smeal.
Wow.
It is a
Smeal.
good episode.
Next up is
All
the
about
stinkiest
smeals.
member of GHK, Kai.
That's right. Let's go, Kai.
He's sniffing himself right now.
Listen.
I smell
you
fine.
Absolutely destroyed me. You are stinky.
It's
You do
nose
that on a
blind-
regular
nose
basis. You both do that on a
blindness.
regular basis.
Yes, we do destroy ourselves. We are streamers.
I have never been rude to you a day in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Does it hurt lying through your teeth like that?
I have always been just the nicest person you will have ever met.
Guy's topic today is cyberbullying.
Today, let me tell you the story of why me and Harune aren't friends anymore.
Because he insults me on a daily basis.
Cotton 4K. Cotton 4K.
Cotton 4K.
Well, actually, we're recording this in 1080p, so it's not in 4K, but
No, not
Almost.
just
One day.
resize the video,
One
make it
day.
larger. We're good.
Actually, so, my topic had to do, I wanted something like Halloween-y, but I know last year we also did Halloween as a topic. So, branching off from that, recently
Wait,
I had a stream.
wait. What do you mean we did Halloween as a topic?
Well, we had a Halloween stream last year, too.
Well,
Or just-
yeah,
We talked about spooky stuff.
but oh, wait, what? Oh my gosh, I thought Kai disappeared for a second. I got so scared. I was like, is this
Oh
part?
my god!
I was like, is this part of this topic?
Oh my god!
Oh, he's spooky.
No, but
freaked me out.
actually,
Yes.
I had a stream not that long ago where I had a couple guests on, and then we were sharing scary stories and stuff.
Ooh.
I wanted to make this week's topic about our fears.
Oh, interesting.
Fears.
So
Our
I will give you a couple prompts, a couple
fears.
options.
Okay.
You could talk about the scariest thing that's ever happened to you,
Mm-hmm.
or the scariest story you've ever heard.
Hmm.
So if you don't have anything particularly scary that you can think of, or you think, oh, this is actually pretty mundane, you can just talk about the scariest, what scared you as a kid. It could just be anything, this was what scared me, or this is what I was afraid of. It doesn't have to be a particular event if you don't have one.
Hmm.
but I thought it would be appropriate for the spooky season. We talked a little bit about the spooks.
Ooh, well, you know what, Kai? Since you were the last, and you had to wait so long to share your part because I couldn't stop talking, why don't you start first?
Yeah, set the stage.
I'm sure
Okay.
you
Set
had
the
time
spooks.
to think about it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've got pretty normal fears, I think. Like, I'm scared of heights. I really don't do well in high places and stuff like that. And I've always had, like, a bit of an unease in the dark. I know we've talked about this before, but do you also do the thing where, like, if you have to turn off the lights when you're at the bottom of the stairs, you, like, try to race the dark
Yeah.
back up the stairs on all fours?
Yep, I know we laughed about that.
But I really do not do well with, it's more like anything that looks really slimy and sticky.
Oh, that's true.
Because
DM,
it's always like... Oh, sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Slime ASMR is not for Kai.
Well, it's like well lit and everything like that, but like, if it looks like it's slimy but it shouldn't be, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember what really invoked this image in me was back when I was in school, like baby tiny little Kai. This was when Lord of the Rings was still showing in theaters. One of my friends went and saw the movie and brought back like the theater kind of like what's showing magazine thing. And they had a 2-page spread showing just all the orcs of Lord of the Rings. And they looked so moist. They were covered in like blood and like mud and like, you know, like sweat, all the makeup stuff to make the costume just look. They looked sticky. I could not touch the magazine. Like, I physically could not bring myself to touch that magazine, even though it's printed on like magazine paper, and it's just an image of a person in a costume.
Mm.
They left the magazine open on that page on my desk. I had to ask someone to like take it off my desk.
Oh no!
I had such just a visceral reaction against it. I was like, So, a lot of the times when you have, like, horror films or, like, horror movies and it's, like, really gory, you get, like, the blood splatters, or you get, like, the monsters with the fangs that, like, drip drool and blood from their mouth and all that. I can't. That's my biggest, like...
Oh.
That's pretty interesting. Like, I'll be honest and say that I don't know if I know anyone that has even a remotely similar fear to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to that, because I know, like, people have, like, issues with texture. That's a thing, but I've heard it applied most commonly to, like, food texture when they eat, right? Like, some people don't like pudding because they don't like colloids, right? Like, that's just a thing. And I get that. Or, like, some people don't even like milk because they think it's, like, too thick, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I get that.
It kind of relates to, like, other things, too. Like, I've got an unease around bugs because, like, every time I see someone else, like, just smack a bug, or, like, smash a bug with, like, their shoe or whatever, like, that pop, and then the goo that's left over, like, that's what I'm more scared of than the bug itself. Which is why, like, I hate, like, the days after the rain, because then all the snails come out and they're super happy eating the asphalt. And I don't see them, because they camouflage.
No!
And I accidentally step on a snail.
No.
I accidentally step on a snail, and it, like, there's that, like, crunch as you step on the shell, and then it's like just goo on the ground. I'm like,
oh my god, absolute tragedy.
It makes me want to throw up.
I
hate it.
You know what? I have only now I completely understand how you feel about that, because there was one time I was walking, and this was in Taipei, Taiwan, and I was walking with my aunt and a cousin, and my cousin stepped on a hermit crab.
Oh no!
Just absolutely like I thought I was going to. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to puke or cry. I couldn't. Like it was so shocking. And this was like, you know, and I had 2 hermit crabs as pets before, so and I had never seen a wild hermit crab, so I was just like, oh my god, what? Just like I felt like I had just witnessed murder. Like I was so distraught and I felt so ill inside. So I totally get. I'm sorry, Kai, but I totally understand. I know you're probably feeling squeamish now. I'm sorry, but that's totally. I completely understand how that must have felt. If you walk up, yeah, pain pickle, indeed.
Yeah.
That's pretty awful. That's
Not
great.
a fan.
No, not at all. DM, what are
Me.
your fears? Yeah.
Me, let's see. I'm not actually like super freaked out by like slimy stuff. The thing that freaks me out most like isn't so much like on spooky things, but it like the thing that immediately puts me into like fight or flight response is loss of control. So like I'm a pretty small person. And I've had like friends or people just like pick me up and move me out of the way before.
Oh, that must be like...
And that makes me like deeply uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because like unless it's a friend that I know and that it's like we're messing around and everything and it's okay, but if
you're
like,
expecting it, it's
if
easy,
I'm
right?
expecting it and everything, then it's like, yeah, I'm fine with like the situation here. But if it's like somebody moving me without me being prepared for it or like restricting my movements, I'm just like I'm going to injure you.
I get that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, because like even growing up, like when you realize how easy it is for somebody to wait, like I'm pretty small. When you realize how easy it is for someone to just like physically move you or physically pick you up, and you are virtually powerless to have them like stop without you causing them physical injury, that's like it's really kind of freaky.
I bet. Yeah.
Right. I can only imagine because on the contrast, I'm really big, so that doesn't really happen with me. But just trying to imagine like not being even able to be in control of your body, like just then again, I mean, my dad and my brother just like do a lot of wrestling, so they jump on me a lot, and quite often I'm pinned down. So in that sense, I guess, but like just being like they wouldn't be picking me up in that sense. They wouldn't be moving me.
At least like
my wills.
when you're pinned down, you still feel like a bit grounded because you still have like connection with something like physical there. But when you get like picked up by somebody or they just throw you over their shoulder, you're just in the air. So for me, that's like like I've had nightmares about being like kidnapped and such, and it's just like
I'm sure that's
like there's all sorts of like really scary stories about people that have been abducted and stuff, and so there's just like I have been conditioned by Dad DM to immediately cause injury if somebody is like if you meet me in person and you try to pick me up or something, I am going to injure you.
Understand.
Yeah, I think that's
because
fair.
like it is my do not do. I will cause violence.
Yeah. Well,
As
no one
a
should be
friend to
picking
you,
you up
then.
without permission anyway. So
Yeah.
they deserve it.
Yeah, like if as long as somebody like asks first and is like, "Hey, can I do this?" and then that's all you do, then that's okay. But if you like sneak up from behind me to try to pick me up or whatever, I am going to either injure your face or destroy your kneecaps because I know where to cause damage. So
You'll bust your balls.
It will take me. I have injured friends before, and then afterwards, it's like, oh my god, I am so sorry.
Don't do that ever again.
Don't do
this
that.
is your fault. You brought this on yourself.
You don't startle like
the girl DM.
You don't startle the girl DM. I will not be happy.
Is big
Well,
true.
As a friend and as a professional courtesy, then, when I go for dim sum with Harune, I'll let you throw yourself in the bush.
Thank you. I will. I've definitely accidentally like flipped over things before and like
Oh no!
like on like the bars and stuff at like playgrounds and things.
Oh, yeah,
that you
yeah,
can do like
yeah.
the front flips. Oh, I've 100% like accidentally fallen halfway and just wham landed on my back and just like okay.
Oh, actually, there was cause like we get a lot of snow here too sometimes. Back in the day, and then like when you shovel the driveway, you pile all the snow on like your front lawn or whatever. So there's like a big pile of snow, and we have like shrubbery that's about 4 foot tall around the house.
A shrubbery.
Four
A
and a half.
shrubbery.
4.5, maybe 5 foot tall in the house, around the house. And so I remember as a kid, what we would do is we would build a ramp out of the snow. We would like pack the snow in to make a ramp. And then I'd just keep like somersaulting over the hedge.
Oh, God.
And then like my feet would always like catch on the edge of it and I'd flip over. But it's like, once you jump over the edge, that's the road.
Oh.
So I just kept like landing on my butt in the middle of the road.
Kai. I mean,
I'm still here though.
To
I'm
be
still
fair,
here.
I
It's
used
fine.
to my childhood home was on a decently steep hill.
Mm.
You like when you were walking up the hill, you definitely had to do like the lean forward while you walk kind of thing.
Oh
like,
wow!
Right,
okay.
it was pretty high. So of course, when I was in elementary school, I did the very, very safe thing of laying down on a skateboard and riding that down to the bottom of the road. Now this was a
So
one-way
safe.
street, by the way. One-way residential street, so people would like tear up and down that, and there were a couple times that I definitely killed my shoes on that too, because that was the only way you could slow down. It's like you put your heels down, and then you hear the because you're like avoiding rocks and things to prevent the skateboard from getting caught and like rolling off of the skateboard at the bottom of the road in front of traffic. But yeah,
Oh my goodness.
fun childhood things. What about you, Harune? What spooks you?
Fear.
Well, I guess I have a lot of fears. Maybe just a small handful of fears. I don't know. I am arachnophobic.
Mm-hmm.
I am trypophobic.
Mhm.
Ouya.
Oh, is that
Ouya found that out once.
The holes.
The little holes.
Cluster.
So you don't-
A fear of a cluster of small holes.
So you don't like Lotus?
I can't. I mean, like, as long as I don't if I'm not fully like recognizing that there are a bunch of small holes there, like if I look at a like a microphone or a speaker
Mm-hmm.
or something, that doesn't disturb me too much. But if it's like zoomed in,
Oh yeah, and it's
Mm.
very
and it's
close.
like,
then
hey,
it's-
look at this, and like, because I remember distinctly when I found out for absolute certain that I was trypophobic was actually I went to visit Ouya one day.
Oh
and
no.
I walked in and he was like, hey, can you look at this and tell me how you feel?
Oh
I
no,
was
he
like,
specifically was testing.
Well, I was like, well, I didn't know, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I looked at it and I almost threw up.
You just had like a visceral response.
Yeah, I like lurched back. I like hugged myself, and I was like, I like gagged a little bit. And I was like, I didn't even know what I was looking at. All I knew is I didn't like it. And so I told him like put it away, and he was like, doesn't that make you itchy? I was like, what?
So Ouya's
What do
Halloween
you
costume should definitely be Jigsaw.
Oh my god! I was just like, what do you mean? Does it make you itchy? And he was like, I don't know. It just like makes me like I could tell his skin was like crawling a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was not like I don't think he was trypophobic. I just think it like made him kind of like ugh, you know. But for me, that's when I knew for certain that I was trypophobic, because I just felt so gross. So like Over the Garden Wall, for example, which we will be watching a day after we record this. So tomorrow, but this will come after we watch it together in the server, so hopefully no spoilers. But there's a character in there whose design is specifically supposed to trigger those who are trypophobic.
Oh yeah.
So they sort of just like went a different route with being spooky. Instead of being like awesome grotesque monster, it's something that produces
Just a raw fear.
Exactly. And it's even when the character's design is finally shown, it pans in the same way that my reaction was when I first saw that image that Ouya showed me, where I didn't even know what I was looking at. I just knew I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And in that quick moment, that's how they show that character's design as well. I know, because when I first saw it, I had the exact same reaction. But so I'm arachnophobic, I'm trypophobic. I also am scared of heights. I also do not like the dark. What else don't I like? I am a little stitious. I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious.
Mini stitious.
I'm a little stitious. Baby stitious. So, like, I like watching ghost shows and, like, reading spooky stories and stuff. Like, that's my jam all year round. But, I get easily spooked. So, like, last night, I was listening through, our season 2 episode 1 episode, getting it ready. I think I'm probably going to, it's probably going to premiere on my channel on Tuesday or Wednesday. So, I was listening through it just to make sure that everything sort of lined up and all of the audio was okay. And the last thing that I listened to before going to bed was when you guys were talking about, when Sadako did first pitch. In baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, and when I was thinking about it at the time, like, I thought it was funny. Like, it had no reaction for me. But last night / early this morning, like, I think at like 5 something, I woke up from a terrible nightmare of, I guess, trigger warning for those who need that sort of stuff. But in my dream, like, moments before I woke up, there was a woman hanging from a basketball hoop. And she looked like Sadako. And she was just swaying there. And I didn't know how she got there. It was, like, way high up, like, higher than a basketball hoop should be. And it just was so disturbing, and I woke up. And I couldn't go back to sleep. So I'm easily spooked by things that maybe shouldn't spook me. I guess it just depends on what triggered the thoughts or anything like that. I think I don't know. I think a lot of things can scare me if I think about it hard enough. But yeah. But I don't have, like, day-to-day fears, like, you know, like, I don't have a constant fear of you know, like, what do they call that? Catastrophizing? Which is, like, when people think of, like, worst case scenarios all the time. Thankfully, that's not something that my brain does. Oh, I just thought of another fear.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Well, for a little bit of context, so when I was in high school, my history teacher made us watch this video that was supposed to be, like, a test about your attention. So it had 2...
Oh, the basketballs?
Yeah,
basketballs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I've
And
seen
it was
that.
supposed to be, like, how many times did the red team pass the ball? And so you would answer, and I felt really proud of myself because I was like, yeah, well, that wasn't so hard. Like, I know how to focus. They're like, but did you notice the mascot walking?
The gorilla.
Yeah,
The
like walking.
gorilla.
Did you see the
through whole
gorilla? And
thing.
you're like, what? There wasn't a gorilla.
No,
Okay,
exactly.
so you all fell for it
And
too the
so,
first
like,
time, right?
Yeah, but the thing was, is, like, that terrified me. Like, I remembered, like, breaking out into a cold sweat because I couldn't believe that I missed something so obvious. That was, like, so obviously there. And that just, like, made me, if anything, it forced me to recognize when I was hyper-focusing. And it made me realize that I needed to become more aware of my surroundings, like, 100% of the time. So I have a fear of missing things that I should be noticing. Because what if that were a dangerous situation? You know what I mean? Like, then I would have been screwed. So, yeah, it's happened a couple of times. Like, there is a movie that I watched where it was very creatively done. I don't know if you guys have seen The Adventures of Tintin.
Yes, I have.
Yes, so you know that scene where Tintin sneaks into Marlinspike Hall for the first time, and it's dark and everything, and he's walking through the living room, and he takes his first 2 steps are, like, shot at a camera angle, quote unquote. It's an animated movie, but it's, like, one of those, like, hyper realistic cartoon movies. So his first 2 steps are fine, and then he takes another 2 steps, and all of a sudden one of the shadows that's right by the camera starts to move with him, and then you realize it's actually Mr. Saccharin who's been watching him climb in through the window. And that terrified me for the exact same reason.
I hate that. I've seen that in other movies, and I hate it.
Yeah, and it's just like, I should have been paying attention. Like, how did I, like, I don't know. There's something about, of course, like, that
He's just watching you like, oh, and if I were in a horror movie situation, I would be dead.
Exactly. Like, once again, if this were a dangerous situation, I would have been hecked. So, yeah, I think, like, something happening to me due to a lack of awareness is another fear. I'm sure there's a word for that, but I don't know that word. But, yeah, I got a lot of fears, I guess.
Wait,
But-
I have one of my other friends that has tryptophobia, and hers is actually pretty bad. To the point that she actually can't look at buttons.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So she has to have like the covered type of buttons and such, and it's just like, for me, like I'm more wary of people than I am. Well, it's also why I don't like airplanes, probably because the lack of control when you're like turbulence, right?
Yeah.
There's like nothing you can do, so it's kind of like that. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I actually went on like the trypophobia subreddit once just to
Why
like
would
test
you do
myself to
that?
see if I had that fear.
Oh, disgusting.
I'm not really bothered by it per se. Like maybe I have like very mild reactions to it. But then they had one which I'm going to try to describe it as ungraphically as I can. I'm just going to be very vague about it to help you guys. But essentially it involved the removal of a horseshoe.
oh yeah, no, I've
And-
seen, like, I don't have
and
tryptophobia at all. I watched all sorts
the
of
the horse's foot was infested with maggots.
Oh God.
Oh, you could have left that part off for
Okay.
Harune Kai.
It's fine.
Kai.
I just wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, horseshoe removal. Like, I've seen that before. That's not so bad.
Yeah, so
But
the
oh,
fact
God,
that it was
okay,
like
oops.
Yeah.
like there was like, you know, it just looked moist. It looked the
Oh.
thing that I reacted to. So I was like, oh no, I wasn't expecting this here.
So you weren't bothered by the tryptophobia aspect. You were bothered by the squish.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Ew. Okay.
So now, when I think of trypophobia, when I see anything else that's trypophobic, it reminds me of that image. Like we're back to synesthesia.
Secondhand.
Like I'm
secondhand system
scared
thinking
by
of that.
association. Yeah, exactly.
that's
I'm just
funny.
like, oh no, that poor horse.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm fine with like.
no.
See, I am all sorts of fine with. Oh, I was talking with some friend, and we were talking, like, they said that body horror makes them really uncomfortable, and for me, like, I don't care at all.
It's always jarring to
body
me
horror.
at first, but then I just get numb to it. I'm just like, okay, this is what they're doing. Fine.
Yeah.
Like, I just rewatched Last of the Mohicans recently, and I forgot that they actually show scalping. And I was like, oh
Ooh,
boy. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, it's that kind of movie. And then I just sort of was like, all right, after that.
Yeah,
So-
I watched like movies. I've been playing Sekiro, and there are various things that are in the. It's a Souls-like style game, and Souls games are pretty good about like putting fears into types of monsters and such that you see. Like, there are definitely monsters that would probably evoke from fears of tryptophobia, and there are monsters that are just like slimy, squishy thingies that like slime on you, and
I don't know if
make
you
really
noticed, I'm like
disgusting
leaning
noises.
super far back.
Yeah, I was
right
gonna say,
now.
I hear the squeak of your chair, and you're just like further away.
Like,
Yeah.
really,
I'm, like,
and like even
trying to get in a comfortable
and
position.
yeah, Kai, there is a monster that is known as the Pus of Man, and it is a slime creature that erupts from.
Do you want me to
a
hang up
monster.
from this call?
There you go.
I will leave this recording studio right
I
now.
will leave the studio. But various things like that, and so like Sekiro also has various things like in the opening sequence, the main character gets his arm cut off, and it's pretty graphic. And people in the chat were like, "Oh no, this is gonna be like really gross," blah blah blah. And I was just like, "Aha, he's been disarmed," kind of thing, right?
He's been disarmed.
I'm not phased, but
Incredible.
then there's a section where you are chased by a giant snake, and you have to wait for it to go so you can sneak past it, and it's very
Oh,
very large, very
God.
close to you. You hear all the sneaky sounds, and there were actually a couple people in the chat were like, I need to like mute, or I need to close the stream until this part has
Mhm.
passed, because people are like, oh, are you gonna get scared kind of thing. I have no qualms with danger noodles.
Yeah,
Or-
I'm fine with snakes.
Or spiders, even. There's spider monsters too, and like swarms and stuff, and I'm just like,
Worms.
that's all okay for me. Like, it's
No, I've had the same experience with like a viewer too, because at one point, as a joke, I streamed the Clue Finder's third grade math adventure, which is
Oh my god, I
clearly a
love
game.
that one.
It was a game for like 5 to 8-year-olds.
Oh no.
So at one point, it had a really cartoony snake telling you a riddle, and you had to like answer the riddle to get across the bridge. And I had a viewer who just could not be there. Like they were terrified of snakes to the point that they had to like leave the stream.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm just gonna scroll down. Could someone tell me in chat when it's safe for me to look again?
Yeah.
But it was like a very exaggerated cartoony snake too, like something you'd see out of like a Disney movie.
Yep, but some people, they're just like, they have the Indiana Jones reaction.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
Yep.
They couldn't be there.
Yeah. No, that's I guess like when you have a fear, you can't really control how much it affects you, you know? Because of course if we could, we would just all not have fears.
And just don't be scared for
yeah,
it.
the fight head, yeah.
Gosh.
But I guess it do be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yar.
Wow, we are chatty today. I wasn't expecting
Over an
this
hour.
topic to last as
You
long
should
as
have
it did.
expected. Well, it's Harune's turn.
Haune's turn. What's your topic for the day?
I'll try and keep it fairly brief. And of course mine tend to be more informative than conversational anyway, but I wanted to discuss the origins of Halloween, which I don't think we did last year. Last year I did the tools used in ghost hunting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So this year I thought we'd be a little bit more broad and discuss the origins of Halloween. Normally I like write out a whole thing for myself to read from, so I sort of stay on topic, but I didn't have time to. 本当にごめん. But I do have like a fairly good source that I will make sure that I put in the description, because this all did not come off, you know, from the top of the dome. But first, I'll lead with a question to you guys. What do you guys know about Halloween? Like, where it's from, why we do it, all that good stuff.
I could be wrong here. This is just based on what I've consumed on social media and all that, like, over the years. I believe it was also called All Hallows Eve, and it was meant to, like, different cultures would have different reasons for it, but I think one culture had it where it was like a witch's holiday. And the other culture was like, this was a day for mischief, like goblins and demons and all those like little devils. It's just like their little celebration.
Okay. DM.
And
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's what. No, I was just gonna say that's what I know. But
Okay.
I could be wrong.
That's
All right.
pretty much the same knowledge that I have.
Okay. All right. So, all right, then this will be a little bit more informative than I would have expected.
Wow.
I thought there were going to be some things that you might have already known, but that's fine. That doesn't ruin my day. In fact, it makes my day more interesting. So, one important thing to know for certain is that so many of the holidays that we celebrate are often pagan in origin.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have any sort of ties to a certain religion, outside of you know, like the oldest religions, like paganism or Druidism or anything like that, is because of
It's
So
generally
I'm
been adopted for popularity's sake.
Exactly. I didn't want to point any fingers, but being specific, yes, Christianity sort of absorbing them and to make it more palatable to those that they were trying to convert. Right.
Okay.
So, this one, Halloween. So we don't consider this like a holiday like we do Christmas. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It is originally religious in nature, but now it's just we go out.
Free
It's like
candy.
a party holiday. Yeah, it's candy, it's party, it's carving pumpkins. It's more of a thing rather than a celebration of anything specific. But originally it was a religious holiday, and it was a Celtic festival called, I'm going to spell it first, and then I'm going to pronounce it. So Samhain. So it looks like it should be spelled or pronounced Samhain or Samhain, but it's actually, I had it somewhere. How is it pronounced? It's totally wrong. I'm like super.
It looks like
how they
that
pronounce...
actually reminds me that's actually currently the event that's in Identity 5, which is the
mobile game you play.
The mobile game that I play. Well, it's a PC as well. It's a like Dead by Daylight sort of thing where you have people escaping hunters, and they currently have the event, and it's dealing with sealing away a monster via druidism.
Yeah, and
that's what the event is in Identity 5.
Yeah. Okay, so the original holiday was pronounced Samhain.
So good old Celtic. Old Celtic language.
Good old Celtic. And it was actually their New Year's festival. Like, that's when they would celebrate their New Year. So it was the end of their harvest season and the beginning of the cold months. And that's when they would mark their New Year. So their whole year sort of led up to this harvest and then the celebration therein of. So it says here, where's a better source I can read it from? So Samhain means summer's end by the Celts. In old Germanic and Celtic societies, what we call equinoxes and solstices marked the middles of the season, not the beginnings. Therefore, if there exists an autumnal equinox, winter solstice, spring equinox, and a summer solstice, there are also the beginning of autumn, winter, spring, and summer. So that's just, the marking of their calendar and things like that. The Druids celebrated this holiday, now this is in quotes, with a great fire festival to encourage the dimming sun not to vanish. And people danced around. No, not.
Oh no! Oh no, the horror!
Cheap sandwiches!
I can see why it's so scary now. Oh no!
No one was promised a yurt. It's fine. And people danced around bonfires to keep evil spirits away, but left their doors open in hopes that the kind spirits of loved ones might join them round their hearths. On this night, divination was thought to be more effective than any other time, so methods were derived to ascertain who might marry, what great person might be born, who might rise to prominence, or who might die. Also, during the celebration, the Celts wore costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skins, and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. Crops were burned and animals were sacrificed, and the spirits were believed to be either entertained by the living or to find a body to possess for the incoming year. This all gives reasons as to why dressing up like witches, ghosts, and goblins, villagers could avoid being possessed. So that was the original Samhain. So that was as it was originally celebrated. By 43 AD, Romans had conquered the majority of Celtic territory. And so they this was the first absorption of Samhain. Two Roman festivals, Feralia, which was the commemoration of the passing of the dead, and the day to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruits and trees. So the apple served as a symbol for Pomona, and which might have been incorporated into Samhain by the practice of bobbing for apples. So if you ever wondered why, why for some reason apples meant anything.
Yes.
Beyond just, it's apple picking season because it's fall time. It's probably because of Pomona.
Wow.
In a very similar reason as to why, eggs and chicks and things and bunnies had some sort of resemblance to Easter.
Yeah.
Right? That's more of its
for fertility and such,
yes. Yeah, that's more of its pagan origin. So, yeah. That's sort of it. So here comes the Christian influence. When local people converted to Christianity during the early Middle Ages, the Roman Catholic Church often incorporated modified versions of older religious traditions in order to win converts. So Pope Gregory IV wanted to substitute Samhain with All Saints' Day in 835. But All Souls Day, November 2nd, which is closer in resemblance to Samhain and Halloween today, was first instituted at a French monastery in 998 and quickly spread throughout Europe. In the 16th century, Christian village children celebrated the vigil of All Saints' Day by doing the Danse Macabre. The seven brethren whose grisly death is described in the 7th chapter of the, okay, what is this? Deuteronomy? Yeah, Deuteronomy.
They said duty.
Oh my God.
Deuteronomy.
No, but this is like a larger word. So, but that is the root word. So, Deuterocanonical book of Second Maccabees.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Maccabees. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Is also said to have resulted in children dressing up in grisly costumes to signify these deaths.
Oh, so for that one, it wasn't so much like dressing up like goblins or things, but dressing up as like the saints that had died grisly ways.
Oh, like the martyrs and such.
Well, like, because there's been ones that have there's been ones that have been beheaded, burned,
right,
limbs
quartered
removed,
and
drawn and quartered and such, and so dressing up as these saints that have died in horrific ways. It was one of the
sacrilegious now.
I mean, it's actually so that when they had like the Halloween things at his church when he was in like his early 20s, that's actually what they would normally do, is they would just be like, let's find the most grisly deaths we can in the Bible and dress up as
Oh my
these.
God, that's kind of really cool. I kind of really like that.
Yeah, like it still like ties it back, but still has like there's some really good horror aspects if you look at stuff. in biblical things.
That's a fun time.
I ain't about it. It's not for me. No.
Going back to Kai's fears.
Nope, doesn't work for Kai.
Beheadings, drawn and quartered, just all that.
It's
body horror.
Rough. Yeah, that ain't
humans
great.
Humans are disturbingly moist on the inside. They get all goopy when they
Kai would like his
quartered.
humans properly dried, please.
He likes them salted and preserved.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm such a jerk.
I'm upset with that one. But anyway, but yeah, so that is the origins of Halloween. The very first celebration was called Samhain by the Celts.
Samhain D's?
No. I mean, body horror, I guess that works, right?
Cease.
You're the only one who has to worry about that. It's fine. We can make that joke.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Hmm?
So I hope listeners and viewers like learned something a little bit more about us and about Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
be
more you know.
Yeah, and be
more
considerate.
you know.
Be considerate to other people during this Halloween season because you don't know what could make them truly uncomfortable. So, keep that in mind. But at the same time, you can't like cater to everyone. So, I mean, if you're gonna dress up in costume, do the best you can. But if someone's like, "I can't believe you did that. I feel so ill now. You should have thought about that," and be like, "Well, I didn't think of you specifically when I grabbed my costume." You know what I mean?
Speaking of which, it is still time of pandemic, so I would say everybody please practice, the precautions necessary if you are going out this Halloween season, if you're going to any parties, trick-or-treating and or whatever. Make sure you always wash your hands, maintain social distancing, and wear your masks.
Yes. Now, if you're doing the traditional trick-or-treating, which is like outdoors going from house to house, just make sure that you stay, a safe distance away from other trick-or-treaters. But if you guys are doing, kids who are doing trunk-or-treating, which, like, I'm going to withhold my opinion on that one, but don't get too, don't climb into anyone's car.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't climb into anyone's car.
What's trunk-or-treating?
It's when so if you're in an area where maybe there isn't a large enough, like a good safe large neighborhood, a lot of times people will go to a large parking lot instead that's well lit, and people will have candy in the trunks of their cars instead. So instead of trick-or-treating through a neighborhood, or like if kids are in like an apartment complex and can't really walk door to door, then you can have people do that and get the candy out of the trunks instead.
Is that I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
becoming more and more popular now. Like, I have students who only do trunk or treating.
Yeah,
and,
it's
but
just
they'll do it in, like, a parking lot.
safer, and it's like, because, I mean, my hometown was quite small, so even when I was doing, like, trick-or-treating and walking I would walk all the way to downtown because all those shops would be open for a Halloween parade, and you could trick-or-treat at the stores, and then we would trick-or-treat the walk all the way back to my house, which was about 2 hours. So,
Oh,
I
wow.
was the kid that had the empty pillowcase.
Oh.
And I would start with an empty pillowcase and bring home
okay.
a full one full of
No,
candy.
yeah,
That's what I would not use a bag or one of those cute little buckets
Yeah,
that are
no,
shaped
no,
like
no,
a
no,
pumpkin.
no.
I
You
would
get
bring
the most.
I would get a
the
queen
most.
size pillowcase, and I
Yes.
continued trick or treating well into like I trick or treated when I was in university still because I'm short.
Oh.
Like you put on
you
makeup and
lucky duck.
That works. That
like
works.
Oh
I
my
put
gosh.
on like makeup and stuff and just continue trick or treating and getting free candy.
That you are so lucky. I tried to trick or treat like well into high school, and a parent, not anyone that I knew, but like another, like a little kid who was trick or treating at the same house. Their parent was like, "Aren't you a little old to be trick or treating?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Well, this is it.
I've
I'm
never
done."
gotten that question.
Ugh.
Wow.
I am 5'2". There are fourth graders who are taller than me. So I'm just like, opportunity has come knocking. Will I dress up in the Halloween costume that I have worn for when I was in elementary school because I didn't get much taller? 100%, let's go. So
I think the last time I trick-or-treated was 9th grade, so like freshman year of high school. I was 6'1", and I did bring with me just a garbage bag.
Oh my
like a
Oh my
black- a
god,
large
you didn't
black
even
garbage
try.
bag. Well, no, my costume, I tried with the costume. I just didn't
Okay.
try for the bag. But after that point, yeah, it's like, because I've always lived in suburbia, so we've never had an issue with like trick-or-treating. We didn't have to do the trunk thing.
yeah, with mine we
But-
would.
At that point, we realized that like a lot of the neighborhood parents, they only bought like the candy that was good for like really small children.
Oh
Boo,
yeah,
there were no
yeah,
good
we-
So,
houses
like,
anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just like, well, I have no interest in the candy.
Right.
There's no reason for me to take this from the kids.
See,
so that's when
uh-huh.
like
I-
we stopped doing it.
I had a paper route.
Mm.
So I knew where all like the little cul-de-sacs were. And so when I was doing the paper route, I would pay attention to which ones had Halloween decorations up. Because
They would
those are
have
the
the
ones
good
that would
candy.
have candy, and usually it was like retired. There was like this one group of homes that was just like this little cul-de-sac, and it was all retired people, and more than half of them had Halloween decorations set up, but it was kind of off to the side. And when I went over there, each house gave me 2 full-size candy bars.
Yes.
I was just like, okay, and they were all super happy because like my Halloween costumes like were usually like Puss in Boots or a zombie or like pretty typical Halloween-y stuff, and they were always super happy because I have siblings too, so I would bring the siblings with me and be like, follow me. But when we do
Yeah,
the
I know
walk
the
back
place.
from downtown area though, like at nighttime, hitting up all of the houses, it passed a very, very large stretch of graveyards because we had 2 of the main graveyards for the town were in between my home walk
Spooky.
and such. So it's just like not well lit, and then
Big
Graveyards.
yikers.
graveyards. So I was just like, yay, Halloween!
Whew, Halloween.
I very
that's
much
a fun
remember
time.
there was a grandpa who every year would do like the full size candy bar, and everyone he was always the favorite house for everyone to visit. And then one year
Yes.
he went and it was like, I couldn't get any candy bars this year, so you'll just have to do with this. And he gave us like the mini half cans of pop,
Oh my gosh!
and we were ecstatic. But he also lived next to a dentist who gave us an apple every year, so we're just like,
Yep,
eh.
yep.
And that year the dentist gave us raisins.
I kind of like
I
raisins.
mean, I like raisins, but it's not.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
there's-
Halloween, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if dentists feel like they have some sort of like moral obligation to like stay true to their profession outside of the office. It's like, don't worry about it. Like,
It's like a box of raisins and like a pack of
So
dental floss.
the
It's just like,
the downtown dentist that was part of like that trick or treating thing. His was like a little grab bag, and it had floss in it, And then regular candy, because he was just like,
Yay!
just here you
Forget
go.
about it. Just floss.
Wow,
just floss, kids.
DM.
Just floss.
Why
This
do
is
you
this
get the cool dentist?
Hey, we have the comic book shop downtown as well. So, like, one of the years, he had discovered that he had some of the promotional Pokemon cards still.
Ooh.
So instead of candy, we got promotional Pokemon cards. So
Aw, that's so fun.
that was cool.
Aw.
Man,
Man.
why are your Halloween so cool?
That's
'Cause
what
I
happens when you live in a
truly-
small town.
You know
They
everybody.
just have more fun.
It's. I would trick or treat at my elementary school librarian's house.
Aw.
Like I knew everybody.
That's cute. But yeah, so be safe, everyone. This Halloween season, dress warm. It seems particularly cold this time of year. And be safe and stay healthy. I don't know what else to say.
If
Floss.
someone tries to grab you from behind, a strong headbutt will break their nose. A person whose nose is broken will not continue to pursue you in general.
Yes, and if you headbutt them, like, so if they grab you from behind, hitting them, if you think you're going to knock yourself out by headbutting them, no. You hit
won't.
the
Don't worry,
front
you're
of
good.
their head, like the back of your head is much harder than the front of their head. You are going to be fine, and they are going to get knocked out. It's been seen and proven, so yeah, you can exercise headbutt caution and be totally okay. But yeah, yay, the more you know! Big potties! I'm trying to potty. I can't potty. Potty. My what?
My advice:
There we go.
don't try to kidnap people. Just
Yeah.
don't be.
Just don't do that.
Yeah, just don't do
Don't
it.
be a bad human being.
But yeah, thank you guys once again for joining me. The episode 1 should be up by Tuesday, so 2 days from when we were recording today, but obviously it'll be out by the time this episode is out. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please consider doing so, and you can check out all of season 1 also on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe we're already into season 2. I'm still so
I can't
happy.
believe it. Yeah!
Yay!
Yay!
Big thrills. All right, friends, stay safe. And それでは皆さん、またね。バイバイ。
Bye bye!
Bye bye.